Hello and welcome in another watch service episode. This time I'll be servicing Poljot watch, a Soviet Poljot watch with an automatic movement inside. Let's open the case back and let's see how the movement looks like. It's not very difficult. I'm using here my old method with old tweezers. Works perfect. And yeah. Here we have it. That's the movement. It's quite old. The balance here seems to be okay. And the type of this movement is it has 23 joules and it is 2616 2H. That's the caliber of this movement. The watch itself looks quite well, but unfortunately when I turn the crown nothing happens. The plastic crystal can be easily replaced here, but I have another Poljot, also automatic, but this time, or this one, is a double date. It's even working, so definitely here I will find less problems, because the movement itself it's working, but the date doesn't really change like it should, especially the days of the month. Here we have a button. And with this button we should change the days of the month, but it doesn't work. So let's open also here the case back. And the movement itself, it's actually the same movement like in the previous Poljot. But this one is 2616 and the second one with double date, it's 2627, that's the caliber. So therefore, I think it will be much better when I will service the second one. Here also, because with this service, I will also cover another movement type of Poljots, very popular. And the movement is exactly in this watch. It's a hand-winded movement without automatic complication, but in fact it is the same movement. You will see in a moment when I start this assembly. This one also is quite well, but the crystal here is cracked and it's quite difficult to find replacement. Okay, so let's start this assembly. Of course I'm starting with removing the winding stem. And now I have to remove the rotor. The rotor is secured with this plate without any screws. Pretty simple construction, like everything what is and was done in the Soviet Union and in today's Russia. Okay, the movement don't want to come out. I think the button here is the reason. Maybe let's remove the mounting plates. This can help, I think. So I said the movements are actually the same, and in fact they are. Only difference between these three movements that you saw a couple of minutes or actually seconds ago is that this one without automatic complication, this 2614 is hand-winded movement. This one here has not only automatic complication, but also how it should come out, I think. So this one. Oh, okay, and here we have it, without any problem. Now I have to remove the hands. So this one has automatic complication and also it has double date. So not only days of the month, but also days of the week. And the first watch in this video that actually I wanted to service, but I changed my mind. I thought that this one will be more interesting, although it doesn't look very good. So anyway, So the first one, it doesn't have this additional complication, so the days of the week. Okay, let's remove the dial. And yeah, here it is. So we have two date tails, some plastic distance ring. So now I have to remove this, I don't know, click, or oh, maybe this wasn't the best method. It's a dial gib, I think. Now I can take out, not so easy here, probably my method isn't a good one. Maybe this way it's not the best one, but I was able to remove, the best way to remove it was actually with fingers, just to grab on the edges and pull it up. Okay, here is this quick date set feature for days of the, and this is the problem of this watch. This one doesn't work really well. Let's take a look inside. Why it doesn't work? Here we have these two wheels and the covering plate with some spring. Here is some screw, and I think that's the lever, and this spring doesn't really work like it should, doesn't really sit properly, so I think that this spring was the reason it's just jump out. I think here it will be quite easy to repair it. Our wheel. So it looks the watch, the spring from the dial side. Quite a lot of parts, small springs, so quite a lot of small parts. That's the Poljot logo. The company anyway still exists today. Here's some dirt. Now let's remove the balance stone, because here it looks like it would be like in Inca blocks in Swiss watches, and also today in Chinese watches, but this one is installed a little bit differently. It's just pushed. You cannot just lift it and turn it. That's the spring, shock spring, and that's the balance jewel. Now I can remove the balance wheel. Okay, here's also some distance plate. In today's watches you won't find this because we have very accurate machines, but in the past they used this. I don't know why. In old Swiss watches I also wasn't able to find this solution. But in Soviet, still quite a lot of tension, and I can see that on the mainspring barrel is quite a lot of dirt. It seems to be graphite grease. Coming back to finish the topic about this distance plates in Soviet watches, it's quite popular. I don't know why. Okay, here this screw, the gap in the head of the screw is pretty small, so you need very sharp screwdriver, and of course it is a left threaded screw. Okay, and here we have auxiliary reversing wheel and crown wheel as a one, let's say, part. Yeah, so the top wheel is actually some kind of auxiliary reversing wheel. We have the crown ring, and that's some clicks. So it is built, this part and this all winding mechanism. Okay, and this ratchet wheel, that actually isn't a ratchet wheel, it's a normal wheel, because here in this movement the crown wheel is in the same way a ratchet wheel, because there we have the click. Here we have quite a lot of play, so it's a sign that the watch was working many hours. Okay, so let's remove the train bridge and the barrel bridge, and we are almost finished with this part. Okay, that's the bridge from the barrel, and here we have the bridge from the train wheels. Here is nothing special, nothing innovative, pretty standard traditional configuration with a center wheel, typical for movements that have central second hand with a separate bridge. So this type of configuration of these train wheels we can see in Citizen, Seiko, and of course old Swiss watches. The canyon pinion, that's not the best way to remove it. Okay, the rest part of the dial side I will remove off camera. Here I only can remove also the lever for the quick date set feature, and that's the case. Here we have a square crystal, and the case itself, it's a nickel plated case, has quite a lot of dirt, so I need to clean it, but unfortunately inside there is some part of the dial, some sub-dial. Also the button here can be removed, so that's not the problem. So I will take a risk and remove the crystal, because the plastic is pretty old, it can crack when I will install it again. Of course the crystal have to be polished, and now I can remove this sub-dial, or second part of the dial, because during cleaning the watch case this dial would be definitely damaged. Oh, let's jump up. So that's the dial. Also these two indexes, so it has applied indexes, dropped off, but can be installed again with the glue, fixed with the glue, so that's not a problem. But this dial doesn't look best, but anyway I will renew this watch. That's the watch bracelet. It's not a steel, it's a brass, also nickel plated, so nothing special here. I think I will find some replacement quite easily for this watch, and in the meanwhile I of course also clean it, and quite a lot of dirt. I think that's all for this video. See my other videos, and I hope to see you again in the second part. So thank you for watching. If you have any question, use the comment section down below and feel free to see the second part. Take care, bye bye.